Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for being here today. I want to begin with one powerful truth. Your mind is the control center of your life. What you feed it, believe in, and remind yourself of, especially in the morning, can shape your entire day, your habits, your confidence, and eventually your destiny. So today, I want to share with you 9 morning reminders that will help you rewire your mind for success. These are not just motivational phrases. They are daily mental exercises to realign your thoughts, break limiting patterns, and activate the mindset of growth, purpose, and unstoppable drive. Own your life. That simple statement holds more power than most people realize. It's not just about taking charge when things go well. It's about embracing every part of your journey, even the moments that feel unfair, confusing, or out of your... When you truly own your life, you stop giving your power away. You stop pointing fingers, waiting for someone to save you, or hoping the perfect opportunity magically appears. Instead, you step up. You become the author of your own story, not just a character reacting to someone else's script. So many people go through life stuck in patterns they didn't choose. They live based on someone else's expectations, chasing goals that don't even fulfill them, and blaming their past for why they can't move forward. But here's the truth. You can't change your life until you take full responsibility for it. That means owning your choices, your habits, your mindset, and yes, even your mistakes. It doesn't mean you caused everything that's happened to you, but it does mean you are responsible for how you respond and what you do next. Owning your life is an act of courage. It requires you to face hard truths. You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what role did I play in where I am now? That's not always easy. In fact, it can feel uncomfortable or even painful. But it's also liberating because once you accept that you're in charge, you realize you're not stuck. You can shift direction. You can build new habits, develop new beliefs, and pursue a different path. Responsibility is not a burden. It's freedom. When you stop blaming others, the government, your boss, your parents, or your circumstances, you suddenly gain a new sense of control. You understand that change isn't out there, it's within you. You stop waiting for things to get easier and start getting stronger. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the green light to act. You don't need anyone's validation to grow, to dream bigger, or to break free from a life that doesn't align with who you want to be. Owning your life also means taking control of your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Most people let their minds run on autopilot, repeating the same doubts, fears, and excuses every day. But you have the power to interrupt that pattern. You can train your mind just like a muscle. You can choose thoughts that empower you rather than limit you. You can stop living by default and start living by design. There's something powerful about waking up in the morning and saying, "This is my life. I'm responsible for it. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm on my way and I'm not turning back." That decision changes everything. It means no more waiting for the perfect time, no more needing everything to be certain. It means acting now, learning along the way, and staying committed even when it's hard. And here's the beauty of it. The moment you own your life, life begins to open up. Opportunities start to appear, not because they weren't there before, but because now you're ready to see them. You've raised your awareness. You've stepped into your power. You've become someone who leads their own life rather than being led by fear, doubt, or other people's opinions. So wherever you are in your journey, remember this. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. You just have to decide that you're no longer giving your power away. Start today. Own your thoughts, own your actions, own your future, own your life, and watch how everything begins to change. Every single day, the way you think, the lens through which you see the world, shapes how you live, what you notice, and what you pursue. This isn't a motivational cliche. It's a fundamental truth backed by both experience and science. Your mindset is the foundation of your actions, decisions, and reactions. It determines whether you see possibilities or problems, growth or limitation, opportunity or obstacles. People often assume reality is something fixed, something that happens to them. But that's only partly true. Two people can face the exact same situation and have completely different experiences because of the way they think about it. One sees a challenge as a setback, the other sees it as a stepping stone. One sees a failure as the end, the other sees it as feedback. The facts may be the same, but the outcomes are worlds apart. Why? Because mindset creates reality. When you start your day expecting stress, chaos, or disappointment, your brain begins to search for proof that you're right. You notice the traffic, the rude comment, the minor inconvenience. Your focus becomes fixed on negativity, and soon enough, your day begins to spiral in the direction of your thoughts. But if you wake up and consciously choose to see opportunity, gratitude, or growth, you begin to tune your mind to different frequencies. Suddenly, a problem becomes a puzzle. A delay becomes time to reflect. A difficult task becomes a chance to improve. You're not changing the world around you, you're changing how you see it, and that changes everything. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing a mental framework that empowers you rather than limits you. If you constantly tell yourself you're stuck, you'll feel stuck, even when options exist. If you tell yourself you're capable, you'll begin to take actions aligned with that belief. Your mindset influences your behaviors, and your behaviors shape your results. That's why real change always starts in the mind before it shows up in your life. What you believe becomes your blueprint. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll hesitate, play small, and avoid risk. But if you believe you're capable of growth, you'll try, you'll fail forward, and you'll eventually succeed. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but like any tool, it must be sharpened, directed, and trained. Left unchecked, your mindset will run based on past conditioning, fear, and limitation. But when you become intentional, you can rewire it to align with who you want to become. Every morning, you have a choice. You can feed your mind with fear, scarcity, and excuses, or you can feed it with clarity, belief, and vision. Your brain is listening to everything you think and say. Make sure your inner dialogue supports your success. This is why affirmations, visualization, and morning routines matter. They're not just rituals, they are systems for shaping your internal state before the outside world has a chance to influence it. Your environment will always try to convince you of limits. People will project their doubts. The news will sell fear. Your past will echo reminders of who you used to be. But you don't have to accept any of that as final. You can shape your internal world so powerfully that the external world bends to meet it. This is not magic, it's mindset. It's the daily decision to choose faith over fear, purpose over comfort, and possibility over doubt. The life you want won't begin when your circumstances change. It begins the moment your mindset does. Reality is not something you wait for, it's something you create. One thought at a time, one belief at a time, one bold decision at a time. Train your mind and your reality will follow. We live in a world obsessed with results, where perfection is glorified and mistakes are treated like failure. But the truth is, chasing perfection often leads to paralysis. It keeps people stuck, afraid to begin, worried about being judged, or constantly feeling like they're not good enough. The idea that you need everything to be flawless before you take action is not only unrealistic, it's the enemy of real growth. Success doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. Progress is messy, it's imperfect, it looks like trial and error, learning as you go, adjusting when things don't work, and showing up even when it's uncomfortable. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by doing everything perfectly. They got there by doing things consistently. They moved forward when it wasn't convenient. They kept going when it wasn't glamorous. And they understood that every step, even the small and imperfect ones, mattered. Perfection tells you to wait. It convinces you that you're not ready, that you need more time, more skill, more preparation. But the more you wait, the more fear grows. Fear feeds off inaction. But progress creates momentum. It doesn't matter how slow you move, as long as you're moving forward, you're building confidence, experience, and resilience. Every time you act, you gather feedback. That feedback becomes your teacher. You learn what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. That's how growth really happens, not in theory, but in motion. The idea of perfection also places unrealistic pressure on your shoulders. It forces you to compare yourself to others, to feel like you always need to be on, and to beat yourself up for falling short. But growth doesn't happen when you're perfect. It happens when you're real, when you're willing to be vulnerable, to try and fail and try again. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Think about it. Children don't learn to walk perfectly the first time. They fall hundreds of times, but each stumble is part of the process. They don't quit. They don't judge themselves. They don't think they're failing. They just keep trying, and eventually they walk. Then they run. That's the spirit we all need to reconnect with. The mindset that it's okay not to have it all figured out. It's okay to struggle. What matters most is that you keep going. Progress honors the journey. It gives you room to grow, to breathe, to evolve. It reminds you that greatness is not an event. It's a process. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once uncertain. You can't improve something that hasn't been started. So don't wait to be perfect. Start where you are with what you have. Your path will become clearer as you walk it. When you let go of perfection, you give yourself permission to be human. You stop living in fear of judgment and you start living in pursuit of potential. You accept that missteps are part of mastery. You realize that every imperfect action is better than the perfect idea that never gets executed. So the next time your mind tells you it's not ready or it's not good enough, respond with this truth. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be progress. Show up, take the next step, build one brick at a time. Because success is not about flawless performance. It's about the courage to keep going, growing, and improving. Progress is the path to everything you want. Choose it every day, and perfection will no longer hold you back. It will fuel you forward. We all crave comfort. It's natural to want ease, safety, and a life without struggle. But the truth is, comfort never creates strength. The moments that shape us the most are rarely the easiest. They're the hardest. It's in the struggle, the pain, and the pressure that we find out what we're really made of. Hard things build strong people, not because we enjoy the difficulty, but because difficulty teaches us what comfort never can. When life challenges you, you have two choices: break down or break through. It's not about the size of the obstacle, but the size of the mindset facing it. Every time you do something difficult, something that stretches you, scares you, or demands more than you think you have, you grow, you expand your capacity, you strengthen your resolve, you begin to believe that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And that belief becomes a foundation for everything else. We don't grow when everything goes according to plan. We grow when we're forced to adapt, to push past resistance, and to keep going when quitting would be easier. That's where real strength is born. Not in the moments when you're praised, but in the moments when no one is watching, and you choose discipline over excuses. When you choose resilience over retreat. When you choose faith over fear. The people you admire, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the change makers, they all have one thing in common. They've done hard things. not once, but over and over again. They've faced failure, doubt, rejection, loss, and fear, and they've kept moving. It wasn't because they were fearless. It was because they understood that hardship wasn't their enemy. It was their training ground. There is a hidden strength in you that you will never discover until life demands it. Pressure reveals what's inside. And the beautiful part is every hard thing you overcome makes you more prepared for the next. Struggles become stepping stones. Scars become stories. And every single trial adds to your inner foundation. Think about a muscle. You can't build it without resistance. The only way to get stronger is to push against something heavy. The same is true for your character, your grit, your courage. If you avoid every challenge, you stay emotionally and mentally weak. But when you face hard things, even when you're afraid, you activate something powerful inside you. You begin to realize that strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you build through action. Doing hard things doesn't mean living in pain or constantly suffering. It means being willing to do what's necessary, to have tough conversations, to show up when you're tired, to keep promises to yourself when motivation is gone. It means not running from difficulty, but leaning into it with purpose, knowing it's shaping the person you're becoming. Strong people aren't the ones who've had it easy. They're the ones who kept going when it was hard, who failed, learned, and rose again, who chose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, and purpose over passivity. That kind of strength can't be taught in books. It's earned through lived experience, through the fire. So the next time you face something that feels too big, too painful, or too difficult, don't shrink. Don't back down. Remind yourself that this is part of your becoming. Hard things don't mean you're off track. They often mean you're on the right one. Stay the course, breathe through it, rise through it. Because every time you conquer a challenge, you don't just prove something to the world, you prove something to yourself. That you are capable, that you are resilient, that you are becoming someone stronger, wiser, and unshakable. Hard things build strong people. And every time you choose to face them, you're becoming the kind of person who can handle anything. In a world full of noise, distractions, and endless demands for your attention, your ability to focus has become a rare and powerful skill. Success isn't just about talent, ambition, or opportunity. It's about how well you can protect your focus. Without focus, even the most brilliant ideas fall apart. Without focus, your time is wasted, your energy is drained, and your potential is never fully realized. Every day, you're faced with choices that either strengthen or steal your focus. Notifications, social media, other people's agendas, self-doubt, procrastination, all of these are thieves of clarity and direction. And if you don't guard your mind, the world will gladly fill it with things that don't serve you. That's why protecting your focus isn't just a productivity hack. It's a discipline. It's a declaration that your goals, your vision, and your future matter more than temporary distractions. Clarity begins with intention. When you wake up each day without a plan or a clear sense of purpose, your mind becomes vulnerable to whatever grabs your attention first. That's why so many people start their day by checking their phone and immediately get pulled into someone else's life. Emails, texts, headlines, and opinions flood in, and suddenly your energy is scattered before you've even gotten out of bed. But when you start your day with focus, when you take time to center yourself, clarify your priorities, and decide what truly matters, you take back control. Focus is a limited resource. You only have so much mental energy in a day. Every decision, every distraction, every interruption drains that energy. So if you're constantly multitasking, switching between tabs and reacting to things that don't move you forward, you end up exhausted without having made real progress. That's why the most successful people simplify. They don't try to do everything. They focus on the few things that matter most and do them with excellence. Protecting your focus also means protecting your environment. Who you surround yourself with matters. What you listen to, read, and consume shapes the way you think. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, gossip, or fear, it becomes harder to focus on growth, vision, and solutions. Create an environment that supports your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, spaces that energize you, and habits that keep you aligned with your purpose. One of the greatest threats to focus is the addiction to urgency, the belief that everything needs your immediate attention. But urgency doesn't equal importance. Just because something feels urgent doesn't mean it deserves your focus. You have to be willing to say no, to set boundaries, and to prioritize what truly aligns with your long-term goals. That's not selfish. That's strategic. You can't give your best to everything. You have to choose where your energy goes. Training your mind to focus is not about being perfect. So it's about being intentional. It's about noticing when you're drifting and gently bringing yourself back to center. It's about choosing to turn off the noise and tune in to your mission. It's about respecting your dreams enough to give them your full attention. At the end of the day, your life is shaped by what you choose to focus on. Focus on problems and you'll feel stuck. Focus on possibilities and you'll move forward. Focus on distractions and your progress will stall. Focus on purpose and you'll build momentum that can't be stopped. So guard your mind, guard your time, guard your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Every great achievement begins with the ability to concentrate on what matters and block out what doesn't. In the age of distraction, focus is your superpower. Use it wisely. Gratitude isn't just a nice feeling or a polite gesture. It's a transformative mindset that literally rewires the brain. Science has shown what ancient wisdom has always known. When you consistently focus on what you're thankful for, you begin to shift the structure of your thoughts, your emotions, and your perception of the world. Gratitude changes not only how you feel, but how your brain functions, which in turn changes how you live. Most people go through life with a mental filter that notices what's wrong, the problems, the lacks, the shortcoming. That kind of mindset fuels stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. But gratitude flips that filter. Instead of looking for what's missing, you begin to see what's already present. And when you focus on the good grows. Your attention becomes a magnet. Whatever you regularly focus on, your brain starts to seek out more of it. If you focus on stress, you'll find it everywhere. But if you focus on appreciation, you'll begin to see beauty, joy, and blessings even in the middle of difficulty. Practicing gratitude actually alters neural pathways. Studies show that people who regularly express gratitude have higher activity in the brain's prefrontal cortex, the area linked to decision-making, emotional regulation, and long-term planning. Gratitude reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, lowering stress responses and promoting a sense of calm and safety. Over time, the brain begins to default toward more positive thinking. This is not wishful thinking, it's neuroplasticity in action. And here's what's remarkable. Gratitude doesn't require perfect circumstances. You don't need everything to go right in order to be thankful. In fact, it's often during life's hardest seasons that gratitude becomes most powerful. When you make the conscious decision to find something, anything, to appreciate in the middle of pain, loss, or uncertainty, you take back control of your mindset. You're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're the architect of your perspective. Gratitude doesn't deny the reality of struggle. It just refuses to let struggle be the only voice in the room. It says, yes, this is hard, but there's still something good here. That mindset is what builds resilience. It's what allows people to persevere, to stay hopeful, and to keep going even when life doesn't go as planned. Another powerful effect of gratitude is its ability to shift relationships. When you express sincere appreciation toward others, whether for their support, their presence, or their impact, it builds connection. People feel seen, valued, and respected. Gratitude deepens trust. It heals wounds. It creates a culture of encouragement. Whether in your family, your workplace, or your friendships, a grateful attitude can change the entire atmosphere. Gratitude also increases self-worth. When you take time to reflect on the good in your life, you start to recognize how far you've come, how much you've grown, and what you've overcome. Instead of constantly chasing what's next, you learn to honor where you are. You begin to understand that you're already living parts of the life you once prayed or worked hard for. That realization builds confidence. It reminds you that you are enough, that you've made progress, and that you have the power to keep moving forward. Make gratitude a daily practice. Write it down, speak it out loud, feel it deeply, let it become part of your routine, not just a once-a-year holiday tradition. Because the more you practice gratitude, the more it becomes who you are, not just something you do. And when gratitude becomes your mindset, it transforms not just your brain, but your entire life. Gratitude is a decision, it's a habit, it's a lens. And when you choose it daily, you don't just see the world differently, you begin to live differently. One thankful thought at a time, your brain changes. And so do you. Each day is a gift, yet most people rush through it as if they're owed tomorrow. The truth is, no one is promised another sunrise. Life is fragile, unpredictable, and fleeting. That's what makes it beautiful. When you start seeing each day not as a burden or a routine, but as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, everything begins to shift. Gratitude rises, clarity sharpens, and your sense of urgency to live fully deepens. We often get caught in the illusion that time is endless. We postpone dreams, delay forgiveness, and put off what matters because we assume there will always be more time. But time is the most valuable currency we have, and it's also the one we can't earn back. You can lose money and make more. You can lose status and rebuild it, but a day wasted is a day gone forever. When you truly grasp this, your priorities change. Waking up is not a small thing. It means life has granted you another chance, another sunrise, another breath, another opportunity to love, create, grow, and impact the world in some way. Too often we overlook this miracle. We wake up and immediately dive into stress, scrolling, emails, routines. But what if we paused just for a moment to acknowledge the miracle of being alive? That simple shift in awareness can ground you. It can center you in the present and remind you that today is not just another day, it's the only version of today you'll ever have. When you see the day as a gift, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Petty arguments, endless comparisons, regrets from the past, worries about the future. They all begin to fade. You realize that joy doesn't have to wait for the weekend or a promotion or some perfect condition. Joy can be found in a quiet morning, a meaningful conversation, a deep breath, or a moment of peace. The gift of the day lies not in its perfection, but in your presence within it. Living with this awareness also fuels purpose. You begin to ask better questions. What can I do today that matters? Who can I encourage? What step can I take toward becoming the person I want to be? You stop waiting for the right time and start using the time you have. You start showing up, not just going through the motions, but truly being present in your work, your relationships, and your moments of solitude. Acknowledging each day as a gift also changes how you view setbacks. Instead of letting challenges define your mood or derail your mindset, you recognize that even difficult days have value. Some days build you. Some days break you, but every day teaches you. And if you're still breathing, there's still purpose. There's still time to pivot, to heal, to try again. Too many people realize the value of a day only when they run out of them. They look back wishing they had said more, done more, lived more. Don't wait for a crisis to wake you up to the beauty of now. Decide today to live awake. Live aware. Live as if your life matters, because it does. Each day is a blank page in the story of your life. You can fill it with intention or distraction, with courage or hesitation. The choice is yours. But the page turns either way. So take a deep breath, look around, feel your heartbeat. This is your moment. This is your chance. This is your gift. Use it, honor it, live it. Because while tomorrow may come, it will never be today again.